Black people and white people raise their kids a little differently.
I never got a whooping or spanked or anything.
And the boys are going to stay at the house with a few girls and they're just all going to hang out. Well, see, I'm not going for that shit either.
Point is, in her mind, she's not going to think anything's like that's going to happen, right? Because it wouldn't happen at her house.
Are you hungry or are you high?
Well, how you go outside of your race and you're biracial?
You niggas done ate all the food. The way you raise your child ain't the way I raised my child. What your child is wearing, my child is not going to wear. You know, you'll let people come over and drink. I won't let people come over and drink. Like, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
That's something I noticed. My daughter, she got invited to a pool party, end of the school year pool party. And I didn't really know the parents. So I took her over there and we had something else going on afterwards. I don't know the parents. And they were like, you know, making drinks and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. Like, it's their house. They can do that. But for me, because I don't know them, I'm staying. Like, I'm staying at the house during the pool party.
Right. And that's fine.
Because I don't know what's going on. Do you think there's a difference between girls and boys though? Is that, or no? Like, raising D, even though the girls and D are so far apart. But in that scenario, would you have done the same thing?
No, because I don't, when I look at things like that, I don't really look at sex as the issue, because same thing that can happen to a girl can happen to a boy.
Right.
I don't look at that as the issue. I look at upbringing, the surroundings, how those parents raise kids. What are they like? What do they believe in? Like, I just try to read the room on that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's not like I'm going to leave him because he's a boy, but I won't leave her because he's a girl. I'm going to treat them all the same.
Right.
That's just how I am. I just feel like, you know, it's funny because I'm just going to flat out say it. You know, Black people and white people raise their kids a little differently. And I mean, I know I'm going to get ate up again and again. I got ate up on the last situationship show, so it doesn't even matter. Oh yeah, I got ate up a couple times for that show, but I don't care. But we raise our kids different.
We have to give an example. Like, in what way?
So, I mean, in what's happening in the house, like, some parents allow their kids to drink. I would prefer you not let my kid drink. I prefer she's not even put in that situation, or he's not put in that situation. Some moms walk around the house in a different outfit than other moms walk around the house.
Think about that. Yeah.
So they're dressed differently. Some moms may say, hey, we're going to go down to the club and the boys are going to stay at the house with a few girls and they're just all going to hang out. Well, see, I'm not going for that shit either. Right? Because that's some fuck around and find out. And my son ain't getting caught up on no case for nothing. Right?
Oh, wait, but pause. Because that's something to talk about, right? Because I don't know that all, and this is a race thing, I don't know that all parents think that way, right? Because our experience, or people we know experience, has been where if their son is in a situation like that, you know, and he's Black or brown, unfortunately, he's going to be the one that is going to get singled out. Where if you haven't experienced that, you know, most white parents aren't going to have that experience, or even know to think that.
In all fairness, I can't expect them to understand how I feel because they're not who I am. Right. So I get that you trust your daughter. You think the kids are just over there hanging out and just being cool and playing or whatever, playing my ass, like, not with my son there and not without me there and not with his future ahead of him. So I was very protective about that. And then with my girls, I wanted to know the people they were around. And honestly, with Mariah, I was friends with a lot of her friends' moms. Mm-hmm. Like, we were all a big friend group.
Yeah.
So we did everything together. And then with Gracie, it was mostly her teammates, which are still some of her best friends. I made it a point, because my son is a young Black man and a good looking young Black man, to not put him in situations that he wasn't going to be able to get out of.
It's heartbreaking for me because I had a couple of experiences. My youngest daughter, she was at a friend's house and I let her stay at a friend's house. I knew the mom, like, you know, all the things we're talking about. We've hung out, we've had, you know, I had wine, whatever. And she stayed over there and they went to the neighbor's house. And the neighbor called her a name. And so the mom, you know, of course the mom was like horrified that it happened or whatever. And so she told me about it. My point is, like,
but what I'm going to say to that is, she's your friend. You go over her house. Like, I hang out with my neighbors all the time. I go drink wine with my neighbors all the time. You don't know how she is?
The neighbor.
Exactly.
Right.
So then you should have never put the kid in that position.
Point is, in her mind, she's not going to think anything's like that's going to happen, right? Because it wouldn't happen at her house.
But this is the thing. It happens all the time.
Yes.
It happens all the time.
But you won't know because you're not in it. They wouldn't know.
People say slick shit. Like, people will say slick shit and think that it's going to be excused, because everybody has a best whatever color friend. Everybody has a best this other color friend, right? And the company you keep. And they've said some slick shit before that she probably overlooked. But I guess you thought that if you were there, they weren't going to say it. But when somebody shows you who they are, you got to see them.
Or maybe she thought they wouldn't say something to a little girl.
But when somebody shows you who they are, you got to see them.
I mean, agree.
If
But those are the things we have to teach our kids. And like you just gave the example with D, those are things we have to teach our children, unfortunately, to handle and maneuver those types of situations.
Mm-hmm. Well, I said it straight up at the table with everybody else. You can stay here, but I'm not staying here because my son ain't staying there. Mm-hmm. Flat out, my son's not staying there.
Yes.
Because first of all, I don't want to have to fall out with none of y'all over my child. And those are things that you can avoid. Like, you can avoid ruining friendships over stuff that involves kids by just simply having conversations and saying, this is how I raise my kids. This is what I believe in. Right. And if you put my kids in an uncomfortable position, you're putting me in an uncomfortable position. So then we have to reevaluate our friendships. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you're not friends with that lady anymore.
Well, I mean, obviously it's just, yeah.
But that's the thing that we have to take into consideration right now today with our kids, with our adult kids. You tell your kids that when somebody shows you who they are, see them. If you are dating somebody and that person isn't nice to you or kind to you, or that person's family is, doesn't like the color of my skin and you're dating outside of your race, or if that person says slick shit, and it doesn't have to be necessarily towards a black person, it could be towards an Indian person or an Asian person or anything. You have to let your children know, whether they're old or young, you got to see those people for who they are, because that may be a joke, but it's a joke they like to say. So you can't joke around about stuff like that. I mean, there's times all the time when my kids, as they're growing old, run into people or have different circumstances and they talk to me about it. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, hold on. You got to see that for what it is.
Yeah.
Back yourself up, because this shouldn't necessarily be happening. Right. And we can't go and pick all of our kids' coworkers. We can't pick all of our kids' dates. We can't pick where, what, colleges they're going to go to. We can help them pick it, but we can teach them how to take themselves out of certain situations. We can teach them red flags on, this ain't good.
And
this ain't good. When in doubt, don't.
We can teach them to speak up too.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's important to advocate for themselves, because both of my daughters have had experiences like that. So.
And also, you're biracial. So you have to teach your kids both sides of the coin.
Oh no, I teach my kids how they need to maneuver through society from that lens. And it wasn't always that way, because I was always like, well, I'm biracial, and so we all just get along. And
no, we don't all just get
and
along.
Right. In reality, that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people that look at me and they're not sure, like what I am or whatever. Mm-hmm. But my youngest daughter wasn't sure when she was little either. But mm-hmm. But it's like, I teach them at this point, it's like, what society is going to look at you as. Like, they need to know how to behave when they get pulled over, because
when they get pulled over, they're going to be black.
That's my point.
I mean, when they get pulled over, they're going to be black.
Point.
Like
that's
I'm
my point.
But also in that, I agree with that. But I also agree with the fact that they got to know both sides of that coin. They need to know their white side of the family just as much as they know their black side of their family. Yes. And their white side of the family needs to understand that they are operating in a black position.
Yes.
So certain things shouldn't, you know what I mean?
That's different.
The one thing that we won't know as human beings is how another person feels in the skin they're in. We're never going to know that. Like, I'm never going to be able to tell my white friends how I grew up as a little black girl and how I was disciplined and what my family was like. And they're going to understand. Like, because we raise our kids different. I mean, we just do. Like, my mom, there's just shit you just don't say and stuff you just don't do. Mm. Like, I still don't cuss in front of my mother. I'm cussing in front of 1,000 people right now. You don't cuss in front of your mother. Excuse me, Mom. Like, right? Like, even my daughter makes videos and she's like, oh, shoot, I shouldn't say that. Excuse me, Mom.
Yeah.
Right? Well, then I have some of my white friends and their kids just cuss with them. They just cuss together. Like the whole conversation is a cuss. Like, and I'm like, girl, we didn't grow up like that. But that's okay because you need to know both sides of the coin.
Yeah, that's different. Like I think my daughters for sure know both sides of their family. There's no doubt about that. They claim both sides of their family. They're not,
Right.
that's
As,
for sure.
as
And
we've seen at the graduation party.
and
Yeah.
you saw, and I always do. I've always done the same thing too. But they're not. They are well aware of what society. If they walk into a store, what they don't think. Oh yeah, you're multiracial. Like they don't. They know that people don't see that.
So okay, you're biracial. When you were dating, did you automatically pick, I'm going to date a black man, or automatically pick, I'm going to date a white man, or did you date both?
I dated both.
Okay.
Yeah. In high school, I dated both.
I'm drum rolling. What made you decide to ended up marrying the other side? Or ended up marrying a Jamaican man?
Have anything to do with his race, like the color of his skin. It was all, it was more, other characteristics.
Did your parents, do you mind me asking this? Did your parents have a preference?
No.
They didn't care?
No. No one in my family cared.
Were you dating a white guy before him? You can tell me to get out of your business. It's okay.
No. I was dating a real light-skinned black guy. Does that count?
Light skin's back. Light skin's back.
Light skin's back.
Light skin's back.
I mean, I never date people based on the people I've dated. It hasn't been like, oh, he's white or he's black or he's this or he's that. It's more about like the character of the person and their interest. And, we've gone through my list before, but those are the things that really matter to me. So
did anybody else in your family date outside of the race?
Well, how you go outside of your race and you're biracial?
Oh, that was great. Right. Right. So did any of your mother's sisters or brothers date black people?
My aunt did.
Okay.
Yeah. My aunt did. One of her sisters did. So I have a cousin who's biracial too.
Yeah.
So
which is in my family as well. Yeah. I mean, I never expected my son to marry a black woman, and I'm gonna get it. But at his university where he went to school at, there wasn't many of us. And then he's dated black women. He just, married a woman that's mixed as well. And Mariah, I just didn't think for the longest I thought Mariah was going to marry a white guy, but then it was always a Jamaican, or not a Jamaican, a Puerto Rican, or Dominican, or
yeah.
And Gracie, I just don't know. I don't care. I never cared.
I don't care either, but I just think it's more cultural. Like it's more like what is the experience you want to have? Like, what do you enjoy about that person? Like if there are just certain cultures that you might be drawn to, you know what I mean? Like when I grew up, so many people in my neighborhood were Spanish. I grew up speaking Spanish. You know what I mean? So it's like I was always exposed to so many different cultures that it never was like, ew this or ew that. It was always just like,
it never bothered me. It never bothered me. I've my friendships are with some of the best people in the world, and they're white, and then I have really, really good black friends, and then I have really good mixed friends.
And the high school I went to was that way too. Like we were like all friends. Like there was no separation. Like, and I don't know if that's like a Midwest thing. I don't know, but it's like everybody was friends.
I think it's an out of style thing. I think at this point, we should expect for everybody to be everybody. Because I will say this, and I've said this before, you marry and you date who loves you. You love who loves you. You date who wants to date you. You marry who wants to marry you. And I don't care what color they are. I don't care if they're short, tall, whatever. You marry who wants to marry you, and you love who loves you. And when you have good friends, it doesn't matter what color they are. If they're your good friends and they love you and they ride with you, keep it. I think racism is a thing of the past. I do. I mean, it's very much prevalent, but in our younger kids, like our kids, my son's age and young, who gonna stop them from marrying who they want to marry?
Yeah, I think we still have to stop the thoughts around racism, though. Even though our kids are more like progressive than our parents were, maybe, or our parents' parents, I think we still have to kind of stop that narrative around it, because even like my daughter plays online games, and there's a kid on there that's using the N word with the R, and it's like it's still out there, and it's just like you still have to
To
continue to
me,
have those conversations.
that is us being led in the improper direction. I mean, we fought really hard for our freedoms, for women's rights, for LGBT. We fought really hard for all these things. And I think that I'm praying that we're in a phase right now where this won't stay. Because if you look at the color wheel in color theory, white mixes with everything. There will never be a pure white America again.
Mm-hmm.
There won't. There just won't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have a grandbaby. Mm-hmm. She's going to be mixed. Mm-hmm. You're mixed. You're one of my best friends. Mm-hmm. I've got good friends that I love. Their kids are dating people that are in other races, right? What if they get together? They're going to be mixed. It is, I believe in my heart of hearts, and I can be wrong. We are going to have to learn how to love one another. We're going to have to learn to love women. Because if you can destroy the family, you can destroy the church. I mean, it's just got to stop.
I mean, we just have to start identifying as a human race, period. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we need to teach our kids. We've talked about this before, and I think because it's so passionate, like we're passionate about this. Like,
yeah,
it really matters.
And when you're a woman, hold your head up high. Like, right? It's a great thing to be a woman in America right now, whether they want to say it is or not. It is a great thing.
I mean, the truth is the truth. No matter what someone says, and what it says about women or about us or about the person next door, the truth is the truth.
I did the show, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not a male basher. I just think that it's really important to celebrate women. And it's important to teach our young women to maintain their power and their position. And one day they're going to be running a household and they're going to be raising children. Mm. And let's just get over the fact that you can do nothing without a woman in conception. Nothing. Mm. We as women have to teach our children to love one another. So if women are still teaching old ideas,
like you have to have real conversations, mm-hmm.
And not waking up to the world as it is. And one day that same woman is going to face the fact with her daughter or her son's going to come home with somebody else. Then what are you going to do? I mean, we've talked about this before. If my son comes home with whoever he comes home with, and this is who he loves, this is who he loves.
Right.
As long as that person treats him good.
Right.
Same for my daughters.
Right.
And I think that, I loved being at your graduation party I told you your aunt, I love your aunt. I love that's the sweetest love story in the world.
My family's very cool.
And I'm thinking to myself, am I ever going to have somebody love me for 43 years? Like I don't think so. Like, think about it. He has loved that woman and still remembers their first love song for 43 years.
Right.
And when it came on, I saw a tear in his eye. Again, love who you love. Mm-hmm. Love who you love so it can last forever.
And, you'll just learn how much we all have in common if you can just set what you see on the outside aside, and you'll realize how much you really do have in common with people who may not necessarily look like you. And right. That's what we need to teach our children is like human. That's a human compassion, all those things.
Because I know that if something happened right now with me or my kids or something went on, my neighbors, I don't care what color they are, they'll be at the door in 5 minutes.
That's right.
They'll be at the door in 5 minutes.
That's right.
And so we don't need to cut off our noses to spite our face, because let me tell you something about your kids. Your children will teach you some of the hardest lessons in life.
They sure will.
And the very thing that you run around preaching that you hate, that you ain't, that you don't, that's not going to happen, that is going to be the one thing that lands on your doorstep. And that is going to be God saying, now it's my turn. You going to tell your daughter you don't love him?
Right.
You going to tell your son you don't love him? Which leads me to this question. I was a little hurt when Mark Anthony wasn't at his daughter's graduation.
Yeah, that was
a little. I
read that.
That was a little disheartening.
Yeah, I read that, and I didn't know if it had anything to do with the name change and all those things that we won't know. We can't speculate that.
No,
but just as parents, you would want both parents to be at.
Yeah,
even
because Kids are kids. Kids are going to change. Parents, kids are going to change. The way I raised D has changed from the way that I raised Gracie.
Well, they grow up in different households,
Yeah,
even though it's the same parent.
Yes, you're in a different cycle of your life every time you're parenting, and it changes. So some of the things that I did for D won't work for Gracie. Some of the things I did for Mariah won't work for D. You know what I'm saying? They don't work. So you have to be ready, because when your kids walk out that door, this is about to happen to you, to go to college, they're walking out this person. But when they come home, each time they come, they grow into another person. Right. So that it could be that one thing that you told them, like, they could not do, not to do. You better damn sure believe when they get to school, they doing it. They doing it and some more. Right? You just have to pray on your kids and hope that they go in the right direction. So it's so much easier to teach them to love than to teach them to hate.
Yeah. It's interesting you say how, the difference between like what you did with Dee, you did with Gracie. I remember telling my mom when I was younger, because I never got a whooping or spanked or anything. One time when I ran out in the street, she probably smacked me on my bottom, and that's when I was like little. Yeah. So I never had that.
I might have done that one.
Yeah, but with my brother,
I would have to tear these legs
with
up
my
sometimes.
brother, I said he needed it.
Oh my God.
So interesting.
It was like, different. It was different.
Yeah.
Oh, D was strong. He would put them legs on me like, and I would be like, oh my God. Like, you look at some videos and the mother's like, I hate my life. I can't just. I would call my mother literally like that. I was like, what? He never stops moving.
Yeah.
I mean, D was on his toes running around the house like, shh.
Man.
I mean, he would just cut up like, shh.
I remember threatening Kendall just one time, and she this tells you how intellectual. She's like, what do you mean? I'm not an animal. Why would you hit me?
And then the black side would have came out and be like, girl, bye. What are you?
I was like,
girl,
you're right.
Oh my God. That's some funny shit.
I did do that. And it worked.
It's like, what do you mean? Like, I would tell my kids, stand there and stand.
I did that. You gave me that advice.
And they're like, what? I'm like, and stand there. Don't lean on my table, because that's my table.
You gave me that
I would say, do not lean on my table. And don't sit on my floor.
They had to stand.
I said stand.
Remember I called you because they kept arguing. It's like on our way home from church or something. They just kept arguing. You said, just put them in separate corners, make them stand. And you were like, go do your thing. Go watch TV, eat your favorite food. Let them just watch you.
Yep.
That's what you told me. And I was like,
and
okay.
Wait, I probably said, and then look over there and laugh a little bit and turn back around. Because it's funny. I used to peek around the corner while they were standing, and I'd be like, and then I'd be like,
yeah, you told me to do that. I did it with them too, and it worked.
And just stand.
In separate rooms.
And don't move. Don't lean on the wall. Don't touch. If you want water, you got to ask me, because you can't walk over there. You got to stand there. And they would just be like, I remember one time one of my kids said something about cleaning up. I asked them to clean up something, and I can't remember which kid it was, but they were like, well, the cleaning lady can do it. I said, first of all, you don't have a cleaning lady. Don't ever say that again. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go in there and take every piece of clothes out of that jar. You are going to fold them. She is not cleaning your room, and don't you ever disrespect her like that again, because she doesn't work for you. You're so mean. I hate my life. Okay, every kid hates their life at some point, but don't you ever disrespect her. I can't. Well, still to this day, when you come to my house, my kids call you Miss Dina. They better not walk up in here talking about, hey, Dina. No.
Hey, girl.
No, I am manners 101, and I'm big on it.
When certain kids come to your house, they know they need to act a certain way, like they need to have manners.
I was just talking about this.
Or were we talking about it on the phone?
Last week. Yes. No, I was talking about this last week.
Okay, so that's
with Chloe and Malika.
Yes, because that's when I was like, ooh, I have something to say. Because I remember my girls, when they were little and we come over, they were like, I have to like toe the line and miss more. Like they were like, I'm not acting up. I'm yes, ma'am. Yes, no, thank you. All the things. And they're like, they told me years later, they're like, we were scared of Miss Maury.
Oh,
they're like, we were not trying to do anything.
One of Mariah's very best friends, her mom and I had Dee and Mallory when they were young. I'm still friends with her to this day. And then she and I it was Mariah, Gabby, and Kyrie. They're all like 3 days apart. Mariah and Kyrie are born on the same day, and then Gabby. So Gabby is like Mariah's sister. Gabby is Venezuelan and white. And Gabby used to tell her mom, she was like, Miss Mari's like Medea. She'll tell you in a minute. Quit smacking that gum. I was like, oh my God. Like, no, I'm not. But I just knew you're not coming to my house, tearing up my house. Like you have to respect the space.
Yeah, nobody was trying to do that.
To me, that just says these kids respect me. And we need more mothers where kids respect them, or we wouldn't be having these damn teen takeovers.
Right.
Like we wouldn't be doing some of the stuff we're doing. Like, another thing that drives me crazy is when we were little, we grew up, we had a little motorcycle, like a moped. Remember mopeds were in then?
Yeah.
Well, they're back. And these e-bikes are everywhere. And these kids are driving the e-bikes, the scooters, the everything. First of all, if you're going to put your kid on one of those, they have to be trained. You have to know how to ride. You have to know what you're doing. I don't know. I don't know.
I got in so much trouble by my mom.
I don't know.
Riding the back of a motorcycle. These guys that I was in high school with.
Fast.
Remember
Remember that back then they called it fast. You so fast. You so fast.
They had motorcycles and they came over and I got on the motorcycle. My mom told me not to get on the motorcycle and I got on the motorcycle and the guy is actually famous. I'm not going to say his name, but there are two of them. And I got on the motorcycle and my mom walks outside and my best friend, we're still best friends to this day. You know her.
Yep.
She's like, oh, is Dina on the motorcycle? Like she said it like that, like it was
I could just
okay.
see her saying it just like that.
Like it was okay. And my friend was like, yeah, they just, she's just telling it. Yeah, they just run around. They're going to go around the block and she's going to be back and then I'm going to go and blah, blah, blah. And my mom's whole face changed. That's what she said. And I got in so much trouble when I got back from that motorcycle ride. She was like, And
see, my mother would have said, get your ass off that bike and get your ass out of my driveway. And that would have been it.
They left.
I'm sure they did.
Making it seem like, oh, it's okay. And just like, you just tell all the information and then she'd be like, noted.
Mm-hmm. And that's you though.
It is.
That's me. You just soak it all up.
Yep.
Me, I go 0 to 100. I've gotten better, but I'm like 0 to 100. I'm like, where you been? What are you doing? I tell this story all the time because the kids are so far apart. Dee was home from school and I always make these wings. And Dee's friends named them Miss Momo's wings. So I had probably 2 cookie sheets of wings that I had put in the oven. And I was just baking them till they were crispy, just like they were from J.R. Crickets.
They're
I'm
good.
telling you.
I don't like wings, but your wings are good.
Oh my God. And so I was gone to pick up the girls from whatever activities they were in. Dee and his friend were home. I walked in that front door. It was probably 4 wings left. I said, Mariah and Gracie, go take off your clothes. Go change your clothes. Go wait. I walked over to them. I grabbed that chicken wing out of his hand. Give me that chicken wing.
I could totally see that.
I said, y'all niggas done ate all the food. Y'all ate every one of these chicken wings. I go, what is wrong with y'all? Are you hungry or are you high? I could not. I was so mad. I was so mad.
Wait, how many of them were there?
Dee and Evan.
Oh, just the 2 of them?
Girl, those kids, those boys are something else. Can I tell you, those boys this is back in the day when they were young. They were playing AAU basketball. Me and my good friend, the one I was just telling you about, with Gabby, we took them to eat at Waffle House, another staple in Atlanta. They spent almost $100 and something at Waffle House.
Waffle House?
They were ordering T-bones, T-bone steaks.
Like how many? Because Waffle House is not that.
We were telling this story the other day. We were just sitting there watching them order. But it's my fault because we let them. We just kept letting them eat. And I was just like, oh, they're growing boys. And you think Waffle House is so cheap. You're like, oh, it ain't going to be expensive.
Right.
And, then they didn't take a credit card. You have to go up to the counter. And she wrote it down. And she going to punch it in. And when I was like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all just ate $100 worth of food at Waffle House. I guess
boys can eat. My brother used to take a big
It's a whole different breed.
It's a mixing bowl and pour
cereal.
Yeah, so I think boys are just different.
It's a whole different breed.
I don't have that at my house.
Still to this day, I just laugh. My son will come in and he'll open the fridge. He's like, you need to go to the grocery, Mom. I'm like, don't nobody live here but me. So what, I'm gonna just go to grocery and hope you coming? Like, nobody lives here.
Mm-hmm.
When you're an empty nester, there's like not extra food hanging out. Like, I will cook for myself. I could probably meal prep, but I'm not cooking for myself every day.
So when G left for college, like, what was like your first thought, if you can remember? Like, all your kids are gone, like it's just you. Were you just like, like, what was it like?
No, my first thought was, and this is the honest to God truth, when she first left, it was clean and organized, everything. I'm cleaning, I'm organizing, yes. I'm in her room, I'm throwing out dirty socks, I'm old that. Stuff.
Yeah.
If it had a hole in it, it goes in the trash. I'm going to give this pile away, that pile away. So I did that. Then it was like, let me go downstairs and switch my office. I'm going to move this over here, move that over there. I'm organizing my life. I'm ready. And then after like a week of that, and going to like Target, which I ain't supposed to be doing anyway, like 14 times, at Publix like 6 times, I remember I just laid on the bed and my dog walked up to me and laid next to me. And I looked at Louie and I was like, I need something to do. I got to go back to work. Mm-hmm. And that's when I decided to go back to work. I was like, I got to go back to work. I had always done my interior design and I've done my jewelry. But I was like, I needed a reason to get up and put on clothes, throw on a little blush, and get out of the house. I had to go back to work.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be like for me.
Because I was never, I've never been married. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to knock on the door and be like, hey, I'm going to come marry you. With me just sitting here, or like, and then I figured I was like spending more money than I was making.
Right.
That didn't add up.
Right.
So, and I had a friend tell me every day you need to work on your business. Mm-hmm. Every day you need to work on your business.
That's right.
So, it was time.
Yeah.
And I should have been dating more, but the last time I was dating, my kids didn't like it. So it was just like, it wasn't my kids, it was just Gracie.
Yeah, but it's challenging to date. I think when our kids are so busy, we're so involved. I don't know. Maybe I'm making up an excuse. It's possible. Mm-hmm. But I mean, for me,
I have some friends that got divorced and they're dating like already. And then I have one friend
kids?
In high school. Yeah, they're dating already, girl. They wasn't waiting. They were like, you sit at home and waste pretty. I'm out. I mean, they were. They're like, I'm out. Yeah. I mean, I remember the last guy I dated, he was like, Maury, what's wrong with you? Why weren't you out on the scene dating? And I was like, I just never wanted to bring anybody home to my kids. And then I look up now and I'm like, well, I'm 5 years after. I should have. No, not that I should have brought somebody home, but I should have
dated.
Yeah, I would date, but then I would be like, not to my house. You ain't coming to my house.
Yeah.
You're not coming to my house.
Yeah, I have a friend. She's dating, and she met this guy maybe a couple of years ago, and her girls are basically the same age as mine. One of her daughter and my daughter are like really, really good friends. But she's been dating this guy for a while, and she.
But I think when your kids are grown, like my kids are grown now. I mean, Gracie's still my baby Gracie. She's gonna always be my baby Gracie. But I think they want to see you date. I think kids want to see you date and want to see you happy. I never wanted to be the mother that, we got to invite my mother because she's at home alone.
I didn't think about that.
No, but my kids sometimes are like, she's always gone or she's busy. Like there'll be times they'll call me and they'll be like, Mom, I'm about to stop by. Like Mariah did the other day. And I was like, well, I'm not here. I'm at D's. I think that, again, there's somebody for everybody. And I think that as you get older, you need somebody to grow old with. Like you can grow old with your girlfriends. And like you see women that about 6 women bought a house together so they didn't have to grow old, by themselves. But I think that you do need some type of companionship. And I have that in an array of friends. So it's not like I'm lonely. I'm never lonely. Mm-hmm. It's not like I don't have anything to do. I do. But it is nice to get your clothes on, dress up, and go on a date. Like I could dress up for you and you'd be like, girl, your skirt's cute. But what does that mean? I like your shoes. Yeah. Okay. But it's very nice to go out with the opposite sex and they're like, oh, girl, you fine. Mm-hmm. It boosts your self-esteem. It boosts your self-esteem. So we should both consider dating a little more.